What's dripping YouTube? Today's video is about the substrates that I use in my bins. These are the substrates that I have found very useful for me and may be useful for you. And I will show you how I use them and what I think about each one of them. First, we have paper towels, the go-to for everyone. We have this wrapping paper, which is blank newsprint, and we also have replica chip. This paper towels is like the go-to for everyone. I was using it before I got the newsprint, because when I first seen it, I think they sell it for like the tub sizes, and it was, I guess, expensive for me. But you can pick this up at Uhaul. This one has 100 sheets in it, and it's probably like $6, $6 to $7, and they have one that comes in 200 sheets for like $9. And I got this replica chip, which I normally buy when I go to my reptile shows, at least 2 or 3 or more of them, and they give you a deal on it if you buy more. But this is my number one. The replica chip is my number one user that I use in my beans. When I'm using the replica chip, I will cut the bag on both sides, or at least cut the top off, and I will fill it up with water on both sides until it gets halfway in. And once it gets halfway in, I will flip it over in my bin and let it soak through, and then I will mix all of it together. But when you're using this replica chip, as they say, I think they say it don't mold, but if you have too much moisture in it and let it sit for too long, it will mold. I have actually seen it. It will mold. But other than that, it's actually very good for spot cleaning, especially for the bigger snakes. I also use it for my smaller snakes too, once they come from quarantine and goes inside the regular bins with the rest of the snakes. But this is my number one go-to once the snake actually get out of quarantine into the rest of the bins. As far as the paper towels, I was using this for my newcomers when they are in quarantine. So if I see any bugs, as far as mites or whatnot, I can identify them instead of using this replica chip, which you can't really see nothing to it and you just be spraying. But I was using these paper towels, and I also was using it for my high white ball python, because for some reason when he's on the replica chip and it's moist and whatnot and sitting on it for too long, his skin started to change this color or faded. So I started putting him on the paper towel. But now I still use the paper towel if I have to, which you use for cleaning too. But for a substrate, the replica chip and the newsprints are my go-to. I basically use the newsprint for my newcomers in quarantine now instead of using the paper towel, which is very useful. And once they use it on it, far as pee or whatnot, it doesn't smell as bad as using the paper towel. And I also use this for my high white pie now instead of putting him on paper towel. But I'm going to show you how I use this wrapping paper, which is unprinted newspaper. So this is, if you've been looking for or you've been ordering the other stuff, I'm not sponsored by Uhaul or this wrapping paper, but this is good. This is a very good substrate if anyone wants to use it. Only $6 for 100 sheets. Depending on your bin size, you can cut some on. But I'm gonna jump into how I do my bins as far as quarantine wise, but this is how I use it when I'm using the wrapping paper. Okay, when you take the wrapping paper out of the box, it's a pretty good size. So with my quarantine bin, which is this one and this one, depending on the size of the snake, you can either cut it in half or you can fold it in half, which for my bigger ones, I would just fold it in half and put it in this bin. And then put everything else that I need to put inside of here. And far as the little ones, to save paper, or if you don't feel like cutting it, which I cut the ones for my smaller one, I will fold it in half and I would cut it so it would give me 2 sizes of the bin. Or if you really want to save, you can cut it in 4s. But for you lazy ones, you can just fold it and put it inside your bin. But this is what I put my smaller snakes in when they are going into quarantine. And also for my my high white ball python, I cut it in half and then fold the rest of it and put it inside his bin. But these are mostly the 2 bins I use for quarantine. And this is the wrapping paper, which is the unprinted newspaper, which you can get it for very cheap at the Uhaul place. But call and make sure that they have it before you actually go there. But these are my top 3 substrates. Wrapping paper from Uhaul, which is unprinted newsprint. Repta chip, which I buy from Replicon when I go, from Chasing Balls. And you have your paper towel, where you can get from almost anywhere. But these are my 3. I will leave a link for the wrapping paper in the description below. But other than that, let me know how these work for y'all, what y'all think about each one of them, and how do y'all use them. And before I end this video, my next video probably will be a breeding project, and I want to do a giveaway from that project. So I will let y'all know the details in that next video. But before I end this video, make sure you like, comment, and if you don't do anything else, make sure you subscribe. Until next time, keep drinking.